Here, guys. This comment from Travis Hunter is not new, but I was specifically saving it for a day we had Jay and Dustin on because I think they could provide some insight into this that people who did not play in the NFL nor played at baseball at an incredibly high level could give us. So the question was asked to Travis Hunter at the Combine. Do you believe doing what you do, playing receiver and defensive back, is harder than what Shohei Ohtani does in Major League Baseball, being a pitcher and a hitter? He gave a real quick answer on it. We'll hear the answer, then we'll discuss which we think would be the harder two-way task, what Hunter does or what Ohtani does. This is Travis Hunter from the NFL Combine.
What's more difficult for you doing football or what Ohtani does in baseball?
Probably me, what I do in football, because it's a lot on your body. You know, Ohtani, he's a great player, but you got to do a lot in football.
Simple answer. He talked about the physicality of it, which is certainly valid. Bull, do we think Dustin should start or Jay should start on this? Where do you think?
Let's go with Dustin.
I think everybody knows
guy.
where each of us are going to go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. So there's some nuance here, I think, to the conversation.
To most arguments there.
It's not black and white. It's not easy to say. I personally think, are we talking about, like, overall, I'm going to say football. Well, not just football, but specifically these two positions, corner and receiver. To be able to play those both at a high level in the pros, if he's able to do it, if a team decides to give him that opportunity, and he can do it for like a season, similar to what he did at Colorado, it'll be unbelievable.
Playing here against North Dakota State, by the way.
What does that have to do with anything? You taking shots at NDSU?
Oh, 1,000%.
Championship program.
Yeah, at what level?
They almost beat Colorado in this game.
What if we put Shohei against the AAA champion?
Dude,
what's he going to do?
Well, that's part of it, is that Shohei has done it at the highest level. Travis Hunter hasn't at
for
this
me,
point.
Bull, that's the temp post of my argument. But I do want to hear more from you because you made some salient points.
You bring up NDSU. Well, he's not going to play against North Dakota State in the NFL.
No, that's actually going to be the crux of my argument.
Okay, so if he does it in the NFL, I think it's going to be. I'll definitely be like, yeah, that's way more impressive than what Ohtani's done.
Such a monumental if.
Yeah.
To me, Shohei Ohtani is on a Hall of Fame track as a hitter. Agree?
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani is on a Hall of Fame
make
track.
my points with this guy. Come on.
No, you're right. I did want to hear more what you said, but when you stopped, I thought you were done.
I know. That's my bad. I'll let you in.
No.
I'll let you in.
You did. Don't open the door for me. I'm going to kick it down.
When I open the door for you, you will keep it open.
You're absolutely right. But I actually do want to hear more from you because if I had to make the argument for Hunter, I would say the same exact things that you just said. But I want to hear everything you have to say.
He hasn't done it yet.
Right.
He hasn't. So I can't say. I mean, what Ohtani's done, nobody's ever done.
But now let's make it a hypothetical. I think that's more fair because he's done nothing yet.
Yeah,
he has done
assuming he does,
nothing yet.
Assuming he's able
let's
to do
do this. Let's assume that 5 years from now, how long has Ohtani been a major league player? 5 years?
No, more than that.
6?
7, I think.
Oh wow!
I'll double check
that
it.
That time flies.
Yeah.
Let's just say for the case here that it's 5, and that in 2030 we're sitting here. Yeah, in 2030 we're sitting here, and here's what we would have to have. We would have to have Travis Hunter is a Pro Bowl wide receiver, a Pro Bowl defensive back, and has won at least one Super Bowl, and is widely regarded as the best wide receiver and the best cornerback. Now, that is a bridge that's too far for my mind to build. But I want to have this conversation because now I can have your argument, and I think I can make a strong case.
Yeah.
Because I think the physical rigors of what he's doing is way more demanding.
I also think it's really kind of an unfair conversation to have in comparison because you're talking about two completely different sports that require a completely different skill set.
Yes.
Okay. And what Ohtani's already done it. It is unbelievable what he's done. By the way, I don't think Travis Hunter can do it.
I don't either.
I don't think he can.
Which is why
certainly not at that high level and consistency as Ohtani for as long as Ohtani I think will do it or be able to do it.
Is he in year 7, Bull?
He's played
Ohtani?
8 years.
God,
this is his 8th
so
season.
Boy, that tells you about his Angels years.
But he hasn't pitched every year because of injuries.
Right.
No,
Yes.
but his rookie season when he won Rookie of the Year was 2018.
Yeah.
If there's a player that can play in the NFL for 8 years
Yeah.
in a row and play both ways almost the entire game, I mean,
now you've got an argument.
Yeah.
dude, you're Jim
Well,
Thorpe.
I would say it.
You are Jim
I would
Thorpe.
say it has.
But even more impressive because when Thorpe played, everybody worked at the hardware store too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
these guys are special.
I don't think it would have to be 8 years because average
Yeah.
baseball career is longer than
Let's
football.
give it 4.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
give it 4.
If he did it for 4 or 5
years, yeah, dude.
If he ends up being a Pro Bowl wide receiver, Pro Bowl defensive back, and again, in the conversation, if not clearly the best at each, he's
Yeah.
in the top 3.
I'm just
Now,
telling
if he
you guys,
does that, that's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
you guys have no idea how physically taxing it is to get through a week of practice in the NFL,
You're right.
in a game on Sunday, and come back the next week and do it again.
I agree with that. We don't know.
It is hell. It's like the hardest thing.
It's equated to a car crash every Sunday.
It is unbelievably
Yeah.
difficult to do. And
Which
even
is
for
why
a
I
guy
don't
like
think
me, who I didn't play every snap, I was and barely played like special teams, and I'm banged up.
Yeah.
To be able to, and I would play like, let's be honest, like maybe 15 snaps a game,
Yeah.
20 snaps max.
Yeah.
And this guy's going to play 120
See,
for
that's the
17
thing.
games.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
If,
oh my God.
If that happens, now I'm probably 80% Hunter, 20% Ohtani. You made an interesting point too, and I was thinking about this morning, and I wanted to make sure I brought this up. The skill set that Hunter needs, a lot of it cross-pollinates. You got to be fast. You got to be able to catch the football. You got to be able to react, right?
Well, yeah, the reaction's the number one thing.
For DB.
It's hard to play DB.
I think DB's the hardest position in football. Outside of quarterback mentally.
Maybe sports in general. You have to be the best. You have to be probably the most skilled and athletically
no doubt.
athletically gifted. to
All
be
of
able to play
your
that position.
thoroughbreds are defensive backs. They just can't
yeah.
catch.
Oh, yeah.
But the interesting thing to me is when I list the skill set needed to be a great hitter, and then I list the skill set to be a great pitcher, there's almost no pollination. There's almost no crossover.
Yeah, no, it's totally
And
different.
so for me, when I look at it, and of course I'm going to say baseball. I'm a seam head, but what Ohtani, and I want your reaction to this because I know you'll give it to me straight. I believe that what we're seeing right now from Shohei Ohtani is the most incredible athletic achievement that I've seen in my lifetime. Am I off?
No, I don't think you are. And this is from a football guy. I think it's remarkable what he's been able to do. And he's not just a guy who can pitch and hit. He is a ridiculous athlete. He's like
He is.
Stole
so
over 50
fast,
bases.
so fast on
Yes.
on the base path.
Yeah.
I mean, it's off the charts what this guy can do.
Bull,
Yeah.
on that statement is because I've said that to some guys that know, and they've covered this. And that's hyperbole. Let's just take a look at what Serena Williams did.
I'll take it to another level. I think he's the greatest baseball player of all time.
I've always, not always, but I believe that the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I've said he's Babe Ruth did it against white guys.
Yeah.
And didn't pitch for very long.
This
Well,
is
he
this
only-
is a world
Shohei
deal now.
Ohtani
Babe Ruth
is
only pitched and hit in the same season once.
1 year.
1 year. That was it.
And so that's why I hate the comparison too.
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way,
right.
But for me, he's been the best baseball player ever for 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
But I'll take it to the next level, and I'll add in all sports, all accomplishments, all achievements. I think what this man is accomplishing, and how good he is at both, is the greatest single athletic achievement I've seen in my lifetime.
If he were American and played played football or basketball, it would be. I mean, he already gets a ton. He's already one of only basically 3 players that moves the needle in baseball. Him, Judge, and maybe Bryce Harper,
I
maybe
think
Bobby
Trout
Witt,
still kind of moves it.
maybe Trout. Not a lot. Not a lot of baseball players move the needle. So
Juan
what he's
Soto-
I will say this from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
It would be tougher to do it in football.
Agreed.
Obviously.
Yeah, no argument
You're
for me.
taking a beat down that he's not taking
For
in that
3
kind of
hours,
way.
17 times a year,
Right.
he's involved in every play.
Right.
And practice.
Right.
And
not easy.
practice.
And,
Right.
and
And
not only that,
practice.
but Hunter would have to be not only be able to do it, he'd have to do it at, as you
Great.
said, at a high level.
Yeah.
He's one of the 3 best hitters in baseball. I don't know if I wouldn't give him a top 3 pitcher at the moment because he's coming off an injury.
Right.
But he was certainly a top 10 pitcher.
When he was at his best,
Yeah, he was top 5,
like,
whatever.
look at what he did on the
doesn't-
World Baseball Classic stage.
Exactly.
When the spotlight was hot.
Even if you say top 10, though, top 3 hitter, top 10 pitcher, I mean, it's absurd.
We can't get our mind
And as
around
you said, the best thing you said, and this is what I actually said that same thing to Mike last night on the phone. I said, playing cornerback and playing wide receiver, while obviously extremely hard and more physically tough, the positions are similar. As you said, the skill sets are similar.
Right.
Whereas being a great pitcher and being a great hitter, most great pitchers can't hit. Period.
Well, you know what's funny about that, Bull?
They used to.
And it goes to show you how specialized baseball is.
Yeah.
Every team I've ever been on, and that includes everything except for professional experience. All of these teams I'm playing on now, it holds true. The best pitcher is still the best hitter.
Yeah, sure. And when you're a kid, that was always the case.
Always, when you're in Little League, show me your best hitter, and I'm going to show you your best pitcher.
But once you get to college,
that's where even in high school, most great pitchers in high school, go ask them. Oh, wow, you had an ERA under 1 when you were in high school. Did you even hit? Oh, yeah, I hit 575 my senior year. They were, because great athletes transfer. You're a perfect example of that. I'll guarantee you can hoop. Never seen you ball? I'll guarantee you can hoop. Look at what you've done in tennis in a very short period of time.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing highly competitive tennis, and you're winning.
Yeah.
So, and I honestly think that if you're going to pick one position to gauge the greatest athletes, it's not point guard, it's not wide receiver, it's cornerback, it's defensive back. I just think that if the way I measure athleticism, the best player in all of sports to me is defensive back. Because you're chasing corner, not safety, corner. You're chasing a slippery chicken. You don't know where he's going to turn. Then when you get him, you got to get him. And there's so much going on for corners. But I still believe that the reason pitchers fall off is hitters. And some don't. CC Sabathia, had some success. There were other hitters that would hit and be like, wow, they can still do it.
Yeah.
They're the freaks. Ohtani does it at an all-star level. The reason you fall off is because, okay, now we need you to pretend like you're a pitcher.
Yeah.
Stop this hitting nonsense. All the hours in the day that you used to spend in the cage, you're now going to spend with a baseball twirling it. So you're working super hard to become a great pitcher, and your other skill set erodes. This guy, there's no drop-off.
It's amazing.
What he does continues to amaze me every day.
You know what's incredible is that every baseball player that talks about him does with reverence.
I know.
Former players, current players, they're all like, guys want to watch him play.
They do.
And you don't like.
And these are the greatest players in the world.
And he's huge.
Much bigger than people think.
You don't usually think of Japanese players being like massive.
No. Hideki Matsui was.
Yeah, he was.
But the traditional
not as tall as
Ichiro.
Ohtani.
Most of them you think, they're tiny.
Right. Yeah.
They're quick. This guy
he's a beast.
And he literally should be studied.
And the guy pitches and hits, and he's the only player in the history of baseball to go 50-50. I mean, that's just insane.
Which is an entirely different skill set. Now you're not just a great hitter, you're a power hitter.
Right.
So that's another tool.
And he only doesn't play the field because he pitches. Like, I'm sure he'd be great in the field, too.
I know he would.
He is the greatest baseball player we will ever see.
And all the talk about corners, I get it, but LeBron James is the greatest athlete I've ever seen.
LeBron, to me, is the biggest freak that we've ever seen.
Couldn't play corner.
And when you watch his football tape, and I think it's because of his size, he was clunky.
He is clunky.
He was too big.
He is clunky. But for pound for pound, he's a freak athlete. There's no doubt.
Yes.
But it is a different. Football is different.
Yeah.
You watch it. He was a good receiver.
He was, but not great.
And by the way, he probably would have developed into an all-time great tight end.
If he had only focused on football. If he had only focused on football, he could have been. You made him a tight end.
He could have been Antonio Gates. He could have been Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Or Rodriguez.
But we've.
Right.
It's pretty amazing in all three sports. What Tom Brady did to 45.
Yeah.
What LeBron's doing in his 40s, and what Shohei is doing in baseball. We've never seen anything like it in all three of these sports.
Throw Serena in tennis.
How long?
Throw Tiger in golf.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he wasn't the greatest golfer, he had the greatest single stretch of anybody. He doesn't surpass Jack Nicklaus, but he had he won the Masters by double-digit strokes. That's like winning a marathon by 20 minutes. There's always other great athletes around you. Now, I hope this I like him. I like Travis Hunter a lot. I like his demeanor. He's easy to root for. He's a likable guy. And by the way, if the Browns draft him, there'll be no bigger cheerleader for him. I want him to succeed. I'll be all on board. I don't think they should, but if they do, I am all in on this kid. I want him to succeed. But I thought it was an unfair question. I didn't hear the way the question was posed, but they put that kid in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation.
Because what's harder to do, what you're doing or what Ohtani's doing? Ohtani has done it at the highest possible level. And the only reason I wasn't being derogatory of North Dakota State.
No, I was having fun.
When Ohtani does it, he's doing it against the top 600 baseball players in the world.
Right.
I'm guessing that
and
North
Travis
Dakota
Hunter-
State doesn't have any of the top 600 football players in the world.
Maybe a couple, but the point is, well,
Top
sir.
600?
Maybe a couple players. That
I mean, I think the top 600 are in the NFL.
Yeah, and there's a couple players in NDSU that will play in the NFL. Neither here
You
nor
know
there.
that better than I do.
We're splitting
I
hairs
get it.
on that conversation. It doesn't matter. At the end of the
When
day,
Ohtani does it, all 600 are the top 600.
at the end of the day, these are two of the greatest athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will. I mean, Travis Hunter at the end of the day, I think will go down. Hopefully, if he can stay healthy, as one of the
I hope we see
the all-time
that.
greats.
Because I love watching stuff that we've
Yeah.
never seen before, and we've never seen anybody do this.
No.
We've seen him dabble in it. We've never seen anybody be an
I hope he
All-Pro
gets
or
a chance
Pro
to do
Bowler.
it.
I
hope
do
he
too.
gets a chance.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike,